4, and today is basically the second anniversary of our English lessons on Iman TV. I congratulate all of you for those of you that you're following these lessons, and we're going to, as usual, start the class with a review and practice of vocabulary. And that's basically filling in blanks, and then after that I have a listening comprehension. So you'll have to listen to a passage, a story, and then answer questions about it. And of course, as part of listening, you'll learn some new words and and you'll also practice grammar through this listening comprehension. بیننده های بسیار محترم تلویزیون ایمان، امروز درس 74 شروع میکنیم و امروز همچنان دومین سالگرد درس انگلیسی در تلویزیون ایمان است که ما این به تاریخ 13 اکتبر 2017 شروع کرده بودیم و آل 2019 است و او کسانی که همیشه تعقیب کردن امیدوار هستم که درس برشان مفید واقع شده باشه. بر ترتیب درس مثل درس‌های گذشته با تکرار و تمرین لغات شروع میکنیم. بعداً یک درس listening comprehension داریم، یعنی به این معنا که شما به یک پاراگراف گوش میدین و بعد از اون سوالا را راجع به این پاراگراف جواب میگین. البته در پیش از اینکه من پاراگراف خدمت شما شفاهی تقدیم بکنم، ما امو لغاتی که فکر میکنم برای شما نو باشه با تقدیم تصاویر نشان میتونم تا این لغات شما اول یاد بگیرین، بعدا این لغات در ارتباط داستان یا قصه که قصه تقریبا کمدی ورز یا فنیست به اصطلاح انگلیسی این خدمت شما تقدیم میکنم و امیدوار هستم که این برای شما مفید واقع شود. همچنان باید بگوییم که درس امروز ما در استودیو لایف است. اگر در اخیر درس شما کدام سوال داشته باشین، پیشنهاد داشته باشین، با نمرات تلفنی که در صفحه تلویزیون شماست با او تماس بگیرین. ما در خدمت شما هستم، سوالات شما رو جواب میگم. اگر همچنان بعداً مثلا درس شما وقت پیدا نمیکنین امروز یا تلفن مصروف میباشه، شما هر روز یا هر وقت میتونین که با من نمره به ما نمره تلفن شخصی من 925 768 48 85 میتونین تماس بگیرین، سوالا و پیشنهادات خود با ما مطرح بکنین و ما البته خدمت شما خواهد بودم. Now let's start the lesson. So the lesson is what? Words that we studied, but you may forget them if you don't practice. So these are the words. Please repeat after me together. First you repeat, then I will tell you the meaning in English, and at the end I will tell you the meaning in Farsi too after we do the exercises, okay? But first you want to think from English into English, okay? Number one, please repeat. Colleague. Colleague. Exercise. Exercise. Condo. Condo. Pray. Pray. Terrible. Terrible. Vaccine. Vaccine. Backyard. Backyard. Nap. Colleague, to people that they work or people that they work in the same company or the same office. They're called colleagues, co-workers. یعنی همکار، کسانی در یک مؤسسه یا در یک دفتر یا یک جای کار میکنن. Exercise به معنای تمرین است. So you grammar exercise, vocabulary exercise, تمرین گرامر، تمرین همچنین exercise، تمرین جسمی را هم exercise میگن. کاندو شکل مخفف کاندومینیوم است، یعنی مثل اپارتمان. pray به معنای عبادت کردن است، دعا کردن، عبادت کردن، اردوشا pray میگن در انگلیسی. P-R-A-Y. Terrible means very very bad، بسیار خراب. Vaccine در انگلیسی، در فارسی ما شما هم عین لغت داریم، اما چون حرف وی را در فارسی ما شما نداریم، از او خاطر ما وی را با W تبدیل میکنیم با و میگیم واکسین. واکسین و vaccine is the same. وقتی که شما فارسی صحبت میکنین وقتی میگین واکسین، اما وقتی که انگلیسی صحبت میکنین باید بگین که vaccine. اوکی. backyard معنیش که حولی و nap با معنای به اصطلاح فارسی کردکی ما شما یک پینکیست یا یک کسانی که استراحت میکنن برای 5 دقیقه یا 15 دقیقه بعد از ظهر او رو به نام nap میگن. nap Okay? Now let's look at the sentences. So I want you to choose a word and use them in these blank spaces. توقع ما شما است که یکی از این لغاتی که برای شما ما قبلا هم قرائت کردم و هم معناش به فارسی و انگلیسی گفتم، از این استفاده بکنید و این جمله رو شما از نظر معنا مکمل بسازید. جمله اول: My neighbor had a big birthday party in his blank. Which word can come here? Number two: Is there a blank for flu? یعنی خانه خالیگاه یا خانه خالی چی میدانه؟ My cousin bought a two-story in the city. A two-story what? What can be دو منزل? You look at that. Story here داستان معنا نمیده. story دو معنا داره. یک معنای چیزی که مثلا میگم I tell a story. یک قصه بر شما میگم. یک داستان میگم. دیگه معنای story منزل است. مثلا میگم که من در خانه دو منزله زندگی میکنم. I live in a two-story house. This is a one-story house. This is a two-story house. This is a three-story house. This is a five-story apartment building. Story به معنای منزل و story به معنای داستان یا قصه. اردویش یک لغت هست و یک معنا داره و یک سپل داره. منتها یک شما در کجا استفاده میکنین معناش تغییر میخوره. Sentence number 4. Jim works with Rahman in the same company. Jim is Rahman's what? Jim نام یک شخص است و Rahman, you know this is the name of a person. They work in the same company. What do you call people that they work in the same company? I told you that a few minutes ago. Rahim in the gym yesterday. What did Rahim do? What do people do in the gym? The word is up there. Find it, sorry. Number 6. Do you take a blank in your office every day? Do you take a what? The word is up there, and please use it and make the sentence meaningful. Sentence number 7. In Afghanistan, in English you say Afghanistan, in Farsi you say Afghanistan. So in Afghanistan, Farid used to in a mosque every Friday. What did he do in a mosque in Afghanistan? Wars, cause what? Tragedies. What kind of tragedies? The word is up there. Excuse me. Now, let me give you the meaning of these words. The answers for these questions and see whether you have the same answers or not. First, repeat after me together. Colleague, hamkar. Exercise, tamreen. Condo, apartment. Pray, ibadat kardan. Terrible, kharab, bad. Vaccine, Backyard, hawli. Nap, khab kota. My neighbor had a big birthday party in his what? The answer is backyard. یعنی در اولی که در عقب خانه است. That's backyard. Front yard پیشروی خانه. Backyard عقب خانه. Is there for flu? Is there what? A vaccine for flu. The answer is what? Yes, there is a vaccine for flu, and all people should what? Have flu vaccine because it's the flu season. My cousin bought a two-story in the city. A two-story what? A two-story condo in the city. Let me read these sentences with correct completions. My neighbor had a big birthday party in his backyard. Is there a vaccine for flu? My cousin bought a two-story condo in the city. Jim works with Rahman in the same company. Jim is Rahman's what? The correct answer is colleague, amkar. Number 5, Rahim in a gym every day. What does Rahim do? Rahim exercises in a gym every day. Do you take in your office every day? Do you take what? The correct answer is nap. Do you take a nap in your office every day? Let me read these sentences with correct completions. Jim works with Rahman in the same company. Jim is Rahman's colleague. Rahim exercises in a gym every day. Number 6. Do you take a nap in your office every day? I hope not. Number 7. In Afghanistan, Farid used to in a mosque every day. Farid used to do what? Pray in a mosque every day. یعنی در افغانستان فرید هر جمعه در مسجد عبادت میکرد. یعنی used to معنی چیست که این کار در گذشته میکرد لکن حال نمیکرد. Okay? So Farid used to pray. یعنی در گذشته در افغانستان در روزهای جمعه در مسجد میرفت و عبادت میکرد. Wars cause tragedies. What kind of tragedies? Terrible tragedies. یعنی bad tragedies. ما شما در فارسی هم تراژدی میگیم. So let me read these sentences with correct completion. In Afghanistan, Farid used to pray in a mosque every Friday. Wars cause terrible tragedies. Let me read these sentences, these words one more time and give you the meaning. Colleague, please repeat. Colleague. Colleague means what? Co-worker. In Farsi it means what? Amkar. Okay? Umaid works with me in Iman TV. Umaid is my colleague. He's my Amkar. Exercise. Exercise means what? Physical exercise in this sentence. You go to a gym to exercise. You jog. That's an exercise. You also do grammar exercise, reading exercise, vocabulary exercise. Like this is what? A vocabulary exercise. Condo means apartment. Pray, ibadat kardan. Terrible means very bad. Vaccine معناش واکسین است. Backyard معناش حولی است. Nap معناش خواب کوتاه. Now I'm going to read something to you and you're expected to answer questions about it. But before I read the thing to you, the story to you, I want to teach you the words that are in the story. در این قسمت خدمت شما ما یک داستان کوتاه را قرائت میکنم اما قبل از قرائت داستان بعض لغاتی را که من فکر میکنم بر شما نو باشه در خلال داستان ما بر شما قبلا تقدیم میکنم با تصاویر امیدوار هستم که معناش به شما واضح شود. So what is this person doing? If somebody stands behind a podium, he's doing what? He's giving a what? He's giving a speech. He's giving a speech. یعنی speech به معنای خطاب است. یعنی کسی که در پیش پودیم میآید، استیج میآید، صحبت میکنه با یک گروپ، اینو میره در انگلیسی speech میگن. Speech به فارسی میگن خطابه. Like a priest, an imam in a masjid, in a mosque gives what? A speech. خطابه میده. A professor in college gives a speech. Give a خطابه every day. So speech, خطابه. This is what do you see in this picture? So you see what? It's a book full of what? Speeches. We call this what? Speech book. کسانی که با پانتون یا کالج میرن یک صنفای که اینا باید بگیرن به نام صنف speeches, public speaking. و اینا یاد میگیرن که چطور در مقابل یک گروپ صدا شوند و خطابه بدن. این به نام کتابی که میخوانن به نام speech book میگن. صنفی که اینا میگیرن به نام public speaking class or public speech class. This is a person who runs a business. And this person is called what? Businessman. Please repeat. Businessman. Businessman. What do you call a person who takes notes and helps run the office? He's kind of assistant to the big boss. That person is called what? Secretary. Okay? Secretary. در فارسی هم ما شما سکرتر میگیم. اما در انگلیسی secretary. اما فعلا کلمه سکرتری به صورت عموم استفاده نمیشه. به خاطر از اینکه این یک لغت است که در گذشته این معنا را میداد که سکرتر همیشه یک خانم است و حال فعلا وضع قسم شده که خانم‌ها به صورت عموم متصدی پروگرام هستن و کسانی که زیر دستشون کار میکنه و کار سکرترشون هم میکنه به صورت عموم مرد هستن یا بعضا مرد هستن. به خاطر سکرتری چون با یعنی معنای خانم داره که خانم سکرتر است، از اون خاطر ما به نام آفیس اسیستنت میگیم. اگر شما بخواین که کار برای سکرتر پیدا کنین، در اخبار به نام سکرتر برای شما کار پیدا نمیشه. نام نو سکرتر، لغت نو برای سکرتر آفیس اسیستنت، یعنی که اسیستان یا کسی کمکی، کسی که در دفتر کمک میکنه. آفیس اسیستنت این لغت است معنای سکرتری. اما از این کتابی که ما این داستان انتخاب کردیم، کتابی است که یک کمک کنه است. لغاتشم همین لغت سکرتری هم لغت است که در گذشته استفاده میشد، حالا به صورت عموم از پیشش کار نمیگیرن. What is she doing? She's doing what? She's typing a letter. So this is typing. The فارسی هم میگیم مکتوب تایپ میکنه. تایپ در فارسی تلفظش تایپ است، اما در انگلیسی تایپ نمیگیم. تایپ. Okay? You're typing a letter. You're not typing a letter. Typing a letter. Okay? Type, typing. این ماشین به نام typewriter میگن. البته که این حال پیدا نمیشه. When we use what? Computers. We do the same thing on computers. We type letters. What do you call a group of people that they listen to you or watch you? یعنی گروپی که با سخنان شما گوش میگیرن یا شما را میبینن، بیننده های شما هستن یا شنونده های شما هستن. What do you call that? یعنی به عبارت دیگر لغت برای بیننده یا شنونده در انگلیسی چی است؟ The correct answer is audience. Okay? Audience. Please repeat. Audience. Audience به معنای بیننده یا شنونده است. شکل مفرد و شکل جمعش اردوش audience است. و شما کسانی که فعلا همین درس مرا تماشا میکنین، میبینین، پروگرام مرا میبینین، you are my audience. شما audience ما هستین. شما مرا میبینین، شما مرا میشنوین. You are my audience. Thank you. How do these three people feel? Look at their faces. What do you think? These three people look what? Do they look happy? Do they look excited? Do they look tired? How do they look? The correct answer is bored. Bored به معنای کسی که تو خسته و مانده باشه. یعنی یک چیزی که شما را به اصطلاح براتون دلچسب نباشه، در اون صورت شما bored میشین. Okay? Bored. B-O-R-E-D. bored. اگر از این درس ما شما استفاده کردن نتونین، درس بسیار بر شما مشکل باشه، در اون صورت است که درس بر شما چیست؟ You will get bored. و درس چی میشه؟ Boring. Okay? I hope it's not the case. Bored, boring. شما bored میشین. درس what? Boring است. یک فیلم میبینین و فیلم میتونه boring باشه، شما میتونین bored شوین، یعنی خسته شوین، مانده شوین، دلچسپیتان از دست بدین. You're bored. This is what? This is called file. Please repeat. File. File. Now, there are all the words that some of which I presented pictures. For others, I just give you the meaning in writing. Please repeat first. Speech. Speech. Speech book. Businessman. Businessman. Secretary. Audience. Restless. Original. File. Complain. Bitterly. Speech به معنای بیانی است، صحبت است. لغت دیگه‌ایش در انگلیسی talk. You give a talk, you give a speech. Speech book کتاب بیانه هاست. A book with samples of speeches. Businessman, a person who runs a business. یعنی کسی که یک بیزنس پیش میبره، چی بیزنس خرید و فروش باشه، چی بیزنس مثلا پیشبرد یک دفتر باشه، او را هم businessman میگه. Secretary means what? Office assistant. در فارسی ما شما سکرتر میگه. Audience is what? People listening to a speech or a show are called what? Audience. یعنی بیننده و شنونده را به نام audience میگن. Restless کسی که به اصطلاح بی‌طاقت میشه. People who are bored, they become restless. They move their body. They're restless. یعنی نمیتونن آرام بشینن. So they do something because they're restless. Original, not a copy. Original یک چیزی که یک سند اصلی را به نام اوریجینال میگن. وقتی که شما از سند تصویر میگیرین کپی میکنین و میکم کپی، اما اصلش اوریجینال میگن. یعنی اوریجینال به معنای اصل است. اوکی؟ اوریجینال اصل، یعنی چیزی که اول شما ترتیب میتین اونمو اصل است. بعد از اون کپی جور میکنین. That's called copies. So sometimes they ask you where is the original? Where is the اصل copy? Okay, the one that you wrote first. Sometimes you use this. باز اوقات شما کس پرسان میکنه where are you originally from؟ یعنی شما اصلا از کجا هستین؟ I'm originally from Afghanistan. Most of you are probably originally from Afghanistan. So originally ما از کجا اصلا از کجا هستیم؟ معنیش اصلا است. File به معنی دوسیه است. A folder for keeping papers. Complain به معنی شکایت کردن است. این یک چیزی که خوش شما نمیه از اون شکایت میکنید. مثلا شما با یک رستوران میرین، نان براتون ناوقت میاره، زود نان نمیاره براتون، شما خوش نیستین، شکایت میکنید. You complain. با یک میخواین با طیاره برین، شما را زیاد طال میده، شما شکایت میکنید. You complain. Bitterly با معنای angrily، یعنی که وقتی شما قار میشین یک چیزی که بسیار قهرامی صحبت میکنین معنایش bitterly است. کلمه bitter با معنای تلخ است. شیرین sweet، opposite شیرین چیست؟ تلخ. So تلخ in English is bitter. But bitterly باز معنای چیست که بسیار با سختی شکایت بکنید. Now please repeat after me together. Speech, speech book, businessman, secretary, audience, restless, original, file, complain bitterly. Now, I'm going to read the story to you, but before I read the story, I'm going to focus your questions on this, focus your attention to these three questions. قبل از اینکه ما داستان خدمت شما قرائت بکنم، ما میخوایم که در حالی که شما به داستان گوش میتین کوشش کنین که جواب امی سه سوال برای ما پیدا بکنین. سوال اولی است که What was an important businessman asked to do؟ ما به شما یک داستان راجع به یک بیزنسمنی که بسیار مهم است میخوانم. در این داستان برای شما میگم که از این کسی یک خواهش کرده بود، یک تنخواه کرده بود. ما میخوایم که شما برای ما بگوین که امی خواهشی که از این شده بود این چی بود. What was an important businessman asked to do? What was he asked to do? از این چی خواهش شده بود که باید بکنه؟ یک کار از این خواهش شده بود. ما مو خواهش رو میخوایم بفهم. You listen carefully and find out what that خواهش is. Who prepared the speech for him? این یک بیانیه داد. امی بیانیه زیر کی ترتیب داد؟ خودش ترتیب داد یا کسی دیگه؟ Who prepared the speech for him? Prepared معنی ترتیب دادن است. Why did the speech last an hour instead of 20 minutes? چرا این بیانیه به عوض 20 دقیقه یک ساعت طول کشید؟ این لغت last با معنای چیز چقدر وقت گرفت. last دو معنا داره. مثلا میگه last week هفته گذشته، یعنی معنای last گذشته است. last week, last month, last century, last day, last night. شب گذشته، روز گذشته، هفته گذشته، ماه گذشته، سال گذشته. So you say last. اما در این جمله last گذشته معنا نمیده. last, why did the speech last؟ معنی است که چرا وقت امی چقدر دوام کرد. مثلا my lessons in this program last 40 minutes, last 50 minutes. یعنی به صورت عموم 40 تا 50 دقیقه را میگیره. Okay? That's how last is used. Okay, how long does it last? It's amount of time for something. This lesson lasts for 50 minutes. The speech lasted 1 hour, not 20 minutes. Why? What's the answer? Okay. So these are the questions. One more time. What was an important businessman asked to do? Who prepared the speech for him? Why did the speech last an hour instead of 20 minutes? Please listen to me carefully. I'm going to read the passage and then I'll ask you questions. An important businessman was asked to give a 20-minute speech in another city. He was too busy to write it himself. So he asked a secretary to put a speech together for him out of a large book of speeches which she had on her desk. She typed one out for him, and he picked it up just in time to rush off to his plane. But when he gave his speech, it ran on for an hour, and the audience was getting very restless and bored by the end of it. When the businessman got back to his office, he complained to his secretary about this. I told you it was supposed to be a 20-minute speech, he said to her bitterly. That's what I gave you, she answered. The original in 2 copies. The original for you to read at the meeting and 2 copies for the files after you check them. So, did you find the answers? Well, let me read it one more time. This time I will read it slowly for you. An important businessman was asked to give a 20-minute speech in another city. He was too busy to write it himself. So he asked his secretary to put one together for him out of a large book of speeches which she had on her desk. She typed one out for him, and he picked it up just in time to rush off to his plane. But when the businessman gave his speech, the speech ran on and on for an hour, and the audience was getting very restless and bored by the end of it. When the businessman got back to his office, he complained to his secretary about this. I told you it was supposed to be a 20-minute speech, he said to her bitterly. That's what I gave you, she answered. The original in 2 copies. The original for you to read at the meeting and 2 copies for the files after you check them. یعنی قصه ای بود که از سکرتر خود خواهش کرده بود که یک مکتوب یک داست بیانیه برش نشته کنه و برش با سکرتر این کار کرد و برش یک کپی اصلی رو داد، یک ورق اصلی رو داد و 2 کپی رو. متاسفانه این بزنسمن عرصه زیر خان به این معنا که این سپیچ 3 بار داد، به خاطر 1 ساعت در بر گرفت. So that's the funny part. Now let's see if you can answer the questions. What was an important businessman asked to do? The answer is to give a speech. An important businessman was asked to give a speech. یعنی بزنسمن مهم از این خواهش شده بود که یک بیانیه بده. Who prepared the speech for him? یعنی بیانیه زیر کی ترتیب کرد؟ خودش؟ نه. His secretary. ابو سکرترش. His secretary prepared the speech for him. Why did the speech last an hour instead of 20 minutes? یعنی چرا این بیانیش به عوض 20 دقیقه 1 ساعت دوام کرد؟ The answer is because he read it 3 times. His speech lasted an hour because he read the same speech 3 times. این بیانیش 1 ساعت دوام کرد به خاطر که این بیانیه رو 3 بار خواند. Now let me read these questions with the answers. What was an important businessman asked to do? An important businessman was asked to give a speech. Who prepared the speech for him? his secretary prepared the speech for him. Why did the speech last an hour instead of 20 minutes? The speech lasted an hour because he read the same speech 3 times. Now let's go to the true and false questions. So what I have here for you, based on what you heard, circle T if it is a true statement and circle F if it is a false statement. به ارتباط داستانی که خدمت شما قرائت کردم، ما 5 جمله را میخوانم. در مقابل هر جمله حرف T و حرف F است. T به معنای true یا درست و F به معنای false یا غلط است. اگر همین جمله که من خدمت شما قرائت میکنم به انگلیسی، اگر همین جمله به ارتباط همین داستان درست باشه، شما دور T را خط میکشین و اقلا پیش خود میگین که درست است. اگر این جمله با ارتباط داستان غلط باشه، این داستان همونطور چیزی گفتن نشده باشه یا معکوسش ذکر شده باشه، دو صورت است که شما دور F یا false که به معنای غلط است او را خط میکشین یا میگین که جمله false است. true false. true معنای صحیح و false به معنای غلط است. Sentence number 1. The businessman wrote the speech himself. آیا این درست است یا غلط است؟ امی businessman یا امی کسی که بیانیه داد، این بیانیه خودش نوشته کرده بود. Is that correct? Did he write it himself? True or false? What's your answer? I'll give you a few more minutes. Let me read question number 2. The businessman read the same speech 2 times. Is that correct? آیا این businessman امی بیانیه خود 2 بار قرائت کرد؟ What did you hear? Think about it. Give me the correct answer. True, صحیح, false, غلط. Number 3. The audience was bored and restless. The audience, بیننده ها و شنونده های از این what? Bored, خسته شده بودن. Is that correct or not correct? Circle T, صحیح, or F for false, غلط. Number 4. The secretary gave the businessman 2 copies of the speech. Is that correct or false? یعنی سکرتر به businessman 2 کپی speech داد. Number 5. The businessman was angry at the secretary. در اخیر داستان این businessman سر سکرتر خود قهر بود. آیا این درست است یا غلط است؟ T for true and F for false. Now let's see what your answers are. Number 1. The businessman wrote the speech himself. خودش شخصا بیانیه خود نوشته کرد. Correct or not correct? The correct answer is false. He didn't write it. Who wrote it? His secretary did. From where? From the book of speeches. So the businessman wrote the speech himself is wrong. It's false. You circle false. غلط. Number 2. The businessman read the speech 2 times. He read it 2 times? Is that correct? Or he read it more than 2 times? Or 1 time? The correct answer is false again. غلط again. Why? He read it 3 times. He read the original and the 2 copies 3 times. So that's why it's false. The audience was bored and restless. یعنی بیننده‌هایش و شنونده‌هایش خسته شده بودن. Is that correct or not correct? Yes, it's correct. I hope you are my audience. I hope you're not bored now. Number 4. The secretary gave the businessman 2 copies of his speech. Did he give him 2 copies? Yes, he gave him 2 copies and the original. So the correct answer is 2 copies. The last sentence. The businessman was angry at the secretary. سر سکرتر خود قهر و غضب بود. Is this correct or not correct? The correct answer is yes, he was قهر. He was غضب. Why? Because the speech lasted 1 hour, not 20 minutes. But who was at fault? Whose fault was it? گناه کی بود که 1 ساعت دوام کرد؟ Was this the گناه of the businessman or the secretary? What do you think? Of course it was the businessman's fault. He read the same speech 3 times. He didn't know what he was reading probably. Okay? Now let's go to the next part. And the next part is reading this passage for you, what you heard. حالا اون چیزی که شما شنیده بودین این من خدمت شما با نشان میتم و یک جایی این میخوانیم و اون لغات را که ما به اصطلاح نشانی کردیم این بعداً یک تمرین گرامری سرش داریم. Let me read this for you and you please follow along. An important businessman was asked to give a 20-minute speech in another city. He was too busy to write it himself, so he asked his secretary to put one together for him out of a large book of speeches which she had on her desk. She typed one out for him, and he picked it up just in time to rush off to his plane. But when he gave his speech, it ran on for an hour, and the audience was getting very restless and bored by the end of it. When the businessman got back to his office, he complained to his secretary about this. I told you it was supposed to be a 20-minute speech, he said to her bitterly. That's what I gave you, she answered. The original in 2 copies. The original for you to read at the meeting and 2 copies for the files after you check them. Now, so that was the funny part. Now what I want you to do, identify the parts of speech of underlined words. در این قسمت ما توجه شما را باز هم به داستان جلب میکنم، اما به عوض معنای داستان و جواب دادن سوالا یک موضوع 3 موضوع یا 4 موضوع گرامری را میخوایم که اینجا بحث بکنیم. یکی که در هر جمله ما یک یا چند لغت نشانی کردیم. خواهش شما است که بگوین که همین کلماتی که نشانی شدن آیا اینا نون یا اسم هستن، verb یا فعل هستن، adjective یا صفت هستن، a preposition یا یک حرف ربطی هستن. و نه تنها برای ما بگوین که noun یعنی یا verb or adjective or preposition، دلیلش هم برای ما بگوین که چرا همین لغتی که ما نشانی کردیم شما میگن اسم است، شما چی دلیل دارین که می اسم است. Okay, so let's discuss that together. Okay, let's read this paragraph by paragraph. I will read paragraph number 1 and then you will go to the words that are marked. Paragraph number 1. An important businessman was asked to give a 20-minute speech in another city. He was too busy to write it himself, so he asked his secretary to put one together for him out of a large book of speeches which he had on his desk. Now, what part of speech is businessman? Is this a noun, a verb, an adjective, or preposition? What is the correct answer? The correct answer is noun, like ismus. How do you know it's a noun? Remember the definition I gave you. Noun is what? The name of a person, a thing, an occupation, an event, or place. تعریف اسم که با شما قبلا گفته بودم که در فارسی هم با شما میگیم که اسم نام اشیا و اشخاص است. در این صورت businessman is what? اشخاص. So it's the name of the person. Also, see what is before businessman. لغتی که قبل از businessman است چیست؟ Important. Important معنی مهم است. مهم چیز صفت است. شما ذکر کرده بودم که بعد از صفت همیشه چی میاد در انگلیسی؟ اسم میاد. An important businessman, an important meeting, an important class, an important date. So important, مهم. So businessman, an important businessman. That's why it's a noun, an SM. Okay, let's look at the next word. He was asked to give a 20-minute speech in another city. What is in? Which part of speech is that? A noun, a verb, an adjective, or a preposition? The correct answer is what? The correct answer is that it's a preposition, like عرف ربط. Yes. But why? Chira. Why is it an عرف ربط? Because, look, at the noun before it and the noun after it. Speech, another city. In it do isma baham rabt meka. Okay? So that's why that's the rule, that you use it between two nouns. He was too busy to write it himself. Busy. Which part of speech is this? A noun, a verb, adjective, or a preposition? You tell me. It is what? It is, what's your answer? The correct answer is, it is an adjective, like sifatas. How do you know that? Because two reasons. Number one, it's at the end of the sentence. He was too busy. He was nice. He was kind. He was sick. After was, we can use what? An adjective. What's another reason it is an adjective or sifat? Because what do you have before it? Too, very, quite, so. After to, after so, after very, we usually use what? Adjective. بعد از این کلمات مثل to، مثل very، ما همیشه صفت استعمال میکنیم. میگیم very nice, very kind, very busy. نمیگیم very book or very go. بخاطر که book اسم است. پیش از اسم very نمیه. Go is what? Verb. پیش از feels very نمیه. نمیگیم very go. You can only use it what? Before adverb and adjectives. Very busy, very sick, very kind, very nice, very cold. You always use it. The same thing. Very means too. Too means very, very much. Okay? So too busy. That's why after to, you always use what? Adjective. Too nice, too kind, too rich. Some people are too rich and some people are too poor. Very, very poor. Okay. So he asked his secretary to put one together for him out of a large book of speeches. Again, in and of are what? Both preposition, uruf rabtiya, because it connects what? Book and speech. Both of them are what? Nouns. Which he had on her desk. Desk is what? The answer in Farsi, the word for desk is what? Maze. So maze is what? Ism. Remember, we said that a noun is the name of people, things, and cities, and all of that. So this is nom ashya wa ashkhas. So in this case, desk is what? It's the jumla ashyas, so it should be what? A noun, ism. She typed one out for him, and he picked it up just in time to rush off to his plane. But when he gave his speech, it ran on for an hour. It ran on. So ran is what? Comes after the subject, it becomes what? A verb. But this is a two-word verb. It's not just ran. It's run on. Run on بمعنای what? دوام کرد. یعنی اصلا رن دویدن مانا میده. اما در اینجا دویدن مانا نمیده. به خاطر از اینکه ما در انگلیسی دو رقم افعال است. یکی افعال است که یک کلمه است. مثلا میگن go, study, put, eat, cut. باز اوقات در انگلیسی رو به معنی ایدیم یا اصطلاحات میگیم که فعل از دو حرف جور شده. مثلا میگیم که run اصلا run R-U-N دویدن معنی میده. پستش ran مثل که دیگه نشته شده. دوید. مثل که I ran 2 miles yesterday. دیروز 2 مایل دویدم. اوکی. ran. اما وقتی که یک preposition یا حرف ربطیه را بعد از فعل استفاده میکنیم این هم یک فعل میشه اما معنای اصلی فعل نیست. این رنان به معنی که داون کردن است. مثل که میگیم cut به معنی قطع کردن است. اما گوییم cut off it means something else. مثلا put به معنی چیزی گذاشتن است. I put the pin on the table. اما میگیم put on به معنی پوشیدن است. مثلا I put on a tie every day. یعنی هر روز ما یک نکتایی میپوشم. اینجا کت به معنای این نیست که من روز نکتایی خود قطع میکنم. So that on changes the meaning. So you say put on پوشیدن. Put off به معنای به تعویق انداختن. Put down به معنای ازی که کسی را کم زدن یا معنا میده. Put off به معنای به تعویق انداختن. So هر وقتی که شما preposition تغییر میتین معنای فعل تغییر میخوره. به اون خاطر است که ما باز انشالله که در آینده با شما امی افعالی که به نام two word verbs بگن و لغت دیگه ازی idioms به معنای اصطلاحات زبان است که این معنای از اینا در دیکشنری نیست متاسفانه. به اون خاطر است که به صورت عموم کسانی که یک چیزی رو میخوانن معنایش رو میفهمن، اما وقتی که صحبت میکنه کسی که داری صحبتش میشنون معنایش نمیفهمن. به خاطر که به صورت عموم کسانی که اهل زبان انگلیسی هستند در صحبت خود از اصطلاحات کار میگیرن، یعنی از اون کلماتی که از دو حرف جور شده. من انشاءالله او رو خدمت شما در هر هفته یک چندانیش تقدیم خواهم کنم. So run on means verb. Run on for an hour, and the audience was getting very restless and bored by the end of it. Audience, the audience. After the, we use what? Nouns. So audience is what? A noun. یعنی که بیننده یا شنونده است. When the businessman got back to his office, he complained to his secretary about this. I told you it was supposed to be a 20-minute speech, he said to her bitterly. When the businessman got back, see? Got. Get back, got back. Got, here is what? A verb. You do something, you return. It means return back to his office. Past tense. I told you it was supposed to be a 20-minute speech. He said to her bitterly. He said. What is said? A verb. Why? Because the present tense is say, it's after the subject, verb. That's what I gave you, she answered. The original in 2 copies. The original for you to read at the meeting, and 2 copies for the files after you check them. So here, the word that is underlined is what? Copies. I give you 2 copies. What part of the speech is copies? A noun, a verb, an adjective, or a preposition? The correct answer is nouns. Why it is a noun? First, because it's the name of something. Number 2, it as a plural form. 1 copy, 2 copies. After بعد از لغت 1 و 2 و 3 مثلا میگیم 1 کاپی، 2 کاپی، 1 کتاب، 2 کتاب. در شما در فارسی وقتی که میگیم 1 کتاب، 2 کتاب نمیگیم 2 کتاب ها. ابو کتاب بازم شکلش حفظ میکنیم. اما در انگلیسی وقتی که میگیم 1 book you have to say 2 books. 1 copy 2 copies. در اون صورت است که ما شکل جمعش استفاده میکنیم. پس این بعد از 2 بعد از اعداد باید ما همیشه اسما را استفاده بکنیم. میگیم 2 copies. Copies is a noun. Now, I've prepared a lot more words for you, as I mentioned, a lot more slides for you, as I mentioned at the beginning of this session. But unfortunately, my time is up, and so I have to stop here. But I need to tell you that the lesson is live, as I mentioned at the beginning of this session. So if you have any questions, suggestions, or concerns, please feel free to use the number on your screen, call me or call the studio, and we will be glad to answer your question or find the answer for a question or talk about the suggestions that you may have. بیننده های بسیار محترم تلویزیون ایمان، درس امروز ما با همینجا به پایان رسید. تا هفته آینده شما را به خداوند متعال میسپارم. باید ذکر کنم که درس امروز ما به اصطلاح انگلیسی لایف است. اگر شما کدام سوالی داشته باشین، پیشنهادی داشته باشین، میتونین با استفاده از نمرات تلفنی که بر روی صفحه تلویزیون شماست با ما تماس بگیرین. با ما در خدمت شما خواهد بودم. شما میتونین با نمره دفتر که 510 894 3784 است تماس بگیرین امی لحظه، یا به نمره تلفن شخصی ما که سلفونم است بر روی صفحه تلویزیون شما که 925 768 48 85. ما کوشش نهایی خود خواهد کردم که سوال شما را به انگلیسی یا به فارسی یا به پشتو جواب بگوییم. بازم شما تشکر. شما را تا هفته آینده به خداوند متعال میسپارم. تشکر.
سبحانك